Today, I'm going to share with you an advanced sentence correction trick that allows you to cut through even the most complicated sentence structures that the GMAT can try and throw at you. I'm also going to reveal the world's perfect GMAT sentence. I know, it's very exciting. Also exciting, I've got a free gift for you. 3 simple strategies to raise your GMAT score 30 points today. These are the same strategies I teach all of my private students. They're super effective. They're going to help you a lot. And they're free. You can download yours right there in the description. Okay, on to the sentence correction. Okay, let's take a look at advanced tricks for complex sentence structures, and I'm about to reveal to you the world's perfect GMAT sentence. Okay, hope you're sitting down because I'm about to reveal to you the world's perfect GMAT sentence, the sentence by which we will judge every single other sentence on the sentence correction portion of the test, and that sentence is, the girl kicked the ball. I know, but it's actually incredibly powerful and incredibly important, and I'm going to show you why. So what makes the girl kick the ball so GMAT-y perfect? Number 1, it is concise. The GMAT values efficiency over almost anything else. I'm going to give you a rule of thumb. Write this down. This is going to help you a lot. You never need a reason to remove a word from a GMAT sentence. You always need a reason to add in more words to a GMAT sentence. Number 2, and this kind of goes along with number 1, notice that the verb is a single word verb. The world's perfect GMAT sentence is not, the girl had kicked the ball. It's not, the girl was kicking the ball. It's, the girl kicked the ball. The GMAT has a strong preference for single word verbs. And finally, notice we get the subject up front followed by a single word verb. We love that structure. We are highly attracted to that structure. Now, that doesn't mean that it's always right, but if we have an answer choice that has that structure, it always means that we're going to take a close look. In fact, let's take a close look at this example. Okay, so you're probably looking at this one and saying, oh my gosh, this is a pretty long and complicated sentence correction. It's got a lot underlined, and you look at the answer choices and there's all these different sentence structures. Even if you can get through this, it's probably going to take a really long time. Okay, instead of like diving immediately down into the grammatical weeds, let's pull back a little bit and let's look for the things that we know the GMAT prefers. So let's see, we look at answer choice C, and we get Henry Cavendish devised. How much do we love that? We get the subject followed by a single verb. And you know what? We look at E, and we also get a subject followed by a verb. Now, we tend to like devised better than had devised, but we'll keep them both in the consideration set, and the chances are one of these is going to be right, so let's just cross off A, B, and D right now. So between C and E, we're kind of leaning towards C because we really like that single word verb. But let's see if there's something else that will help us make our decision. And you know what? There's something else about E that I don't really like. Through the employment of, that's wordy. There are a lot of words. In C, we just use the word employed. So C is a much more efficient way to say what we need to say. So C is going to be the right answer. And did we have to plow through, the weeds of English grammar to get there? No. We used what we know about what the GMAT strongly prefers to get there fast and to get there accurately. Okay, let's try this one. It is called the sea, but the landlocked Caspian is actually the largest lake on Earth, which covers more than 4 times the surface area of its closest rival in size, North America's Lake Superior. Okay, as we're looking at this, we know what we want. The girl kicked the ball tells us that we want the landlocked Caspian is, and we want that up front. We want that as the first words if we can get it, but we don't get it. In fact, if you look at all the answer choices, we don't get it. Every single one of these answer choices has a little intro phrase with a comma. A has, it's called a C. B has, although it is called a C. C has, though it's called a C. D is, although it's called a C, but actually I don't even know what's going on with D. E is, despite being called a C. Okay, so what we want to do is ignore those intro phrases with commas, and we want to look for the phrase after the comma that is closest to the girl kicked the ball. And let's see what we get. A says, but the landlocked Caspian. We are looking for the landlocked Caspian. That's close. I don't love it, but we'll keep it around. Let's see if we get the landlocked Caspian on B. B has actually the landlocked Caspian. That's actually getting worse. We're shoving more words into this thing. C has the landlocked Caspian is. That's exactly what we're looking for. The girl kicked the ball. C is definitely better than A and B. So let's get rid of those two. Let's see if we get anything better than C as we look at answer choices D and E. D has, though called the sea, but actually is the largest lake. I don't even know what's going on with that, but I do know that the landlocked Caspian is at the end of that sentence. There's no way we want the subject up front followed by a single word verb if we can get it. D is definitely worse than C. And E, despite being called a sea, the largest lake on Earth is actually called, we've got the landlocked Caspian again at the end of the sentence. We want the landlocked Caspian at the beginning of the sentence, followed by a single word verb, which is exactly what we get in C. The landlocked Caspian is. C is the correct answer. And notice we were able to do that using almost no grammar, simply using the girl kicked the ball. It is incredibly powerful. It will help you out a lot. Let's try this one. Hurricanes at first begin traveling from east to west because that direction is the way the prevailing winds in the tropics blow, but they then veer off toward higher latitudes, in many cases changing toward the east before dissipating over the colder, more northerly waters or over land. Okay, as you're looking at this sentence as written, what do we think? Well, we like the fact we've got hurricanes up front as the first word because that is the subject of the sentence. That's great. But then it's paired with begin traveling. We hate that. There's no way. The world's perfect GMAT sentence is not the girl began kicking the ball or the girl was kicking the ball. It's the girl kicked the ball. We want hurricanes travel. There is no way that A is right. What about B? B says at first, hurricanes travel. Okay, this may or may not be right, but we're going to keep it around. What does C say? C has, well, hurricanes travel. Okay, again, might not be right, but we're definitely keeping it around. And what about D? Because hurricanes at first travel. You know what? D is not as good as B and C, so we're going to cross it off. There would have to be something seriously wrong with B and C in order for D to be right. It's a very, very low probability. And what about E? Hurricanes beginning by traveling? No way. No, E is definitely out. So between B and C, which do we like better? Well, B is at first, hurricanes travel from east to west because that is the direction of the prevailing winds in the tropics, but actually, that's a pretty clean sentence, makes sense. And I like the word but because it says at first the hurricanes do something, and in the end of the sentence it says but they veer off. So that makes perfect sense. What does C say? Well, hurricanes travel from east to west at first, the direction of the prevailing winds blowing in the tropics, and so C doesn't really make a lot of sense. And the other problem is it uses the word and doesn't make sense. We need the word but because the hurricanes start to do something, but then they do something else. So C is out and we use B. Now, I know some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, there was so much more grammar in there. We could have analyzed it. You know what? You're exactly right. Here's the thing. We didn't need to. Most of that other grammar is there to try and confuse you. And if you get drawn into the weeds, you're going to end up wasting a lot of time and getting confused. As much as possible, you want to stay on a higher level. And if the girl kicked the ball gets you through the sentence, that's awesome because it will get you through the sentence quickly. And you're going to be surprised at how often the girl kicked the ball is going to work for you. All right, great job. The girl kick the ball is going to be your best friend in sentence corrections, especially when you have it narrowed down to two choices and you're not sure which one to pick. Always go with the one that's closest to the girl kick the ball. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to either hit like or subscribe. It really helps us a lot. And don't forget about your free gift. 3 simple strategies to raise your GMAT score 30 points today. All right, great job. We'll see you next time.